Alright folks, how's it going? Now, I've been away for a wee while, a few weeks, and well now I'm back. So, just going to do a nice, just to get warmed up again, just do a nice wee simple sunset. Get some nice warm colours going today. Alright, so just going to start off by removing the white off the canvas, and what I have here is a 16 by 12 rectangle on extra fine cotton canvas with a bit of a hair in the middle of it there, right there. Oop. Right, so let's remove the white off this and we'll see where we are. Okay, let's get some, what do you call that again? Mineral spirits, some white spirits, some oxide red, some phthalo green to get a nice darkish tone down to begin with. Now put a drawing up here of an idea of what I'm going to have, where I want it. And this is just a thin wash that I'm putting up to begin the process. All right. Okay, now there's some hedgerows and distant trees here. They have just in here, nice hedgerows and distant trees. Like I say, it's been a while since I've been here to do this, so I'm just going to be playing with it for the time being. Right. So this is just going to be the initial wash that I'm putting down here. Just the idea of it. And I'm staying away from the edges of my drawing. I'm not going right to the very edges of them because I can fill in the edges as I'm going along. I don't want to too much at this stage. And as I say, I'm just playing with it, nothing more. So let's get some darks in and around the edges of this water here. Okay. You can see something beginning to take shape already, pretty quickly. And this is just sculpting the initial shape of things on. I have in my mind today, I have a number of reference photos that I sat and looked at before I got up off my backside to come and paint it. Right, now again, not being very concerned with the edges, with the looks of it at the minute. I'm just playing around with it for now. So I'm going to put on a bit of a velvety sky here, orangey velvety. Just give me a second. All right, now let's see. Let's get in some colors in here. Let me get some of this white in here. I'm going to be working on the sky for the time being. A little bit of red, a little bit of oxide red, and a little bit of yellow, just to lift it up a little bit. I don't want it turning green on me. Too much blue as well. I want it grey, but not overly grey either. Okay, there we go. Now we're getting there, bits at a time. All right, I think for the underpainting, I think that I'm there now. So a little bit of liquid in it, a little bit of spirits in it, and let's just work this in up in here to begin with. Okay. So give me some raw umber in this too. Just to bring it back a little touch. Now, you don't want too dark, but because it's the underpaint, I will be coming along and maybe a bit more warmer tonal, maybe. There we go. Now, just get in here. And this is going to be a wee house in here. It's the plan anyway. Whether that works out or not's another thing. We'll see as we're going along. Excuse me. Now, I'm coming out to the edge here. I want it a bit brighter, a bit more yellow, a bit of an orangey tone to it, but not too much. Trying to make sure that it's not grey, too grey. I want a nice colourful, saturated sky. Ish. Okay, so lots of white in it this time. Let me see, let me just bring this out to here. Probably a bit brighter than that. There we go. Maybe a bit more yellow too. Let me just... There we go. When you've been away from it for a while, I'm not saying that it's you can't get back into it. No, of course you can, very quickly as well. It's just that you do feel that it takes a while for your mind to settle down into it. That's all. Just your mind just needs to get back into the way of it. It's a bit too much. Okay. Just keeping it all soft for the time being. This is going to be quite an orangey, yellowy sky along this area here. I'm just keeping that where it is for now. Just having a little moment to myself. Okay, so let's get this yellow sky in. A softish brush. Orange to begin with. Nice deep orange too. Now this sky you see along here, whenever I get the yellow in and the rest of it in, it will begin to look violet. This is the way colors work. They can be very strange to people. They can be very strange to people. What the nice saying? They can be very strange to people. Oh, but you know what I mean. There, okay now. Just looking at it as I'm standing back here. Alright, just taking a little bit off the brush here. All I'm going to do is add a little bit of white and a little bit of yellow to this current mix. Oh, and my alarm is going, just give me a second. Alright, now where was it? I'm mixing this sky here. Okay, so a nice yellowy sky. Some spirits, some liquid. Get it up in here. And then I, of course, will come along and soften this when the time is right. Nice and deep reds and deep oranges down in here. Okay, so let me see. Let me just have a wee look-see at this. I want to take a bit of a step back. I'm not sure that as part of the sky here is dark enough. It might be. I'm just going to. What I will do is I will soften it up and I'll see where it stands. Just need to get my wee brush here all. That's been sitting about for a couple of weeks and it has stiffened up somewhat, so I'm just wiping it on my hand here. Okay. Just softening this up a touch. And then I will wipe it off a little bit. Just on a bit of kitchen roll here. And then just get this all, trying to get all this working together. All right, now let me see. Now, is that dark enough? I'm going to take a little step back here and see. Yeah, it's okay for the time being. It'll be fine until I get the detail painting on the top of it. All right, okay, I'm gonna mess around with this little house over here. So that we have it. Let me see now. What color of roof should I put on this? I think that I will put on a little bit of a grey tin roof. So some blue there, and you can see this beginning already to come into a grey roof. There we go. Now make it a little bit purplish. Some red to it, just to knock it back a bit. And then, I promised myself not to keep putting my brushes here. So, let's see now. I don't think I'll use that palette knife. No, I think I will use a different one if I can find where it is. Maybe this one here. Yeah. Okay. Let's see here, just here. It's a bit dark. I'll lighten that up a touch. Okay, same again. So let's just get it here. There we go. There we go. And over here again. It's dragging this down into it. Creating that edge. All right, now just wipe this off and then create the base of the building just underneath here. I'll do that with a little bit of a black, a little bit of oxide red, and some liquid in it. A little bit of the roof color in it too, just to lighten it a touch. I don't want it to be a full dark silhouette in here. I want to be able to put some shapes and shadows into it. All right, okay. And that will do for the time being. I'm just wiping that off the palette knife. And now I just... Okay. What I think I will do is I will actually add some of this into this here. So I will. Just to get that blue into the sky. That blue violet color. Now, that's far too dark for where I am. It's only a bit as well. I'm not looking to do the whole sky like this. Just down in here and then slightly lightening it as I go along. And there we go. That should allow some of the sky to peek through as well at the same time. Let me see. There we go. All right, now let's get back to softening this up again. Gently, barely touching the canvas here, folks. Just taking the edge off, so that I can put a better edge on it whenever it has dried for me. There we go. Okay, that's a nice colourful sky we have there for the time being. I'll probably most likely darken that roof. Actually, you know what? I think I'll actually do it now. So I do. I think I will do it now, but I want to create a. Let me see. What am I trying to do, folks? Right, let's create a darker roof here. See, this is the form of changing your mind all the time. There are real advantages. It depends on what type of artist you want to be, a type of painter you want to be. There are real advantages to not planning. It gives a real sense of freedom. It's actually quite a lovely sense of freedom, I must say. But then there are disadvantages to it, and this is one of them. That if you don't have a complete plan, you can get caught out on some things. But I also think that can be a wonderful side of it too. And that would be having to make it up as you go along, type of thing. Like you're in no rush to get it right at this stage, You just want to play with it, so you do. That's all. I'm just making sure that I'm getting some of it right, Yeah, you still have to get some of it right. If you're going to put a building on, you need to have a certain physical properties, or it doesn't look like a building. All right, for now. Now, right. Let's see where we are. Let's get in some water in here. Okay, so I want a nice red patch along here, like a proper bright red, which I'm just going to put in straight up a tiny bit of yellow just to lighten it, but overall a real red tone here. A bit brighter. And that'll do for over here. I'll just carry it down here a bit, but I'll orange out up whenever I get the chance. So, Okay, in fact, I'll take the chance now. I'll arrange it up now. Okay. Remembering, folks, that this is merely the underpaint for the time being. Now, let me give a nice bluey green over here for water, a nice dark one too, and I'm almost at it here with this color here, and it should be reflecting off this sky here. But I want it a bit greener than what maybe a bit darker than that. I think I've brightened that a bit too much. So a nice dark bluey green here. So some liquid, some spirits, just to help it move around a bit. And let me see. Now that's dark. That is indeed dark. So I will lay it down with some liquid and some spirits, and then I will come along and lighten it a little touch with the stuff that's here. See, this is using the sky. This is using the palette that I used up in the sky. This is using the same colorations and creates a good bit of harmony. Let me see. Nope, nope. Too bright for that close of a transition. So let me just, yeah, it's a bit better. And as we're coming along, I shall brighten it as I'm coming up here. I'm just getting progressively brighter as I'm heading towards the source of light here. You see now? There we go. Just working this in. Okay, now let me see this. Right, now what I need is a good softening brush, nice wee bit of a blender, and just get this part of it done first. Softening these edges. Trying not to mix it too much in and around the purest colors areas here. But you want it to maintain that saturation. But now as I'm moving in towards here, I want some blending to be happening here. And what I'm doing here is called stippling. And I'm just dabbing the brush. Not brushing it up and down and mixing it, just dabbing the brush, and it's carrying what I'm picking up over to another place and putting it down and picking it up and putting it down, and it's creates soft edges without ruining the stuff that you've put down. Now what I need to do over here is create a darker area over here to signify this embankment. There's already some dark down for it, but I want it a little bit darker. So let me see, let me take a step back here. Yep, now that's looking fine. So it is. So I want to just use my wee fan brush, get it all going in a direction and see what it looks like in that direction, and then maybe blend it a bit better. See, look at that now, that's a very saturated color, and it's very saturated water. It has a nice tone to that indeed, so it does. Right, so let's put in the darker areas that I was talking about belong here. Some nice blacks and browns here. A nice and loose mix. Make it a wee bit cold as well, because everything around it is warm. So I'm just going to make it a bit cool. And I'm just about touching the edge of this water that I put down. And I will use a blending brush to get that to work. Just creating another little embankment there. So let me see. A little bit more. A little bit cool. And I'm using ultramarine blue here. And it has a cool, it's not as cold, it's not the coldest blue. It has a bit of warmth in it. Okay. Now, for now. There we go. Maybe bring this out of touch actually, but just a bit, just out to here. Okay. Now, all right. Okay. Now I'm actually going, instead of using the fan brush, I'm just going to use the brush that I was using initially, and just going to drag it down into it, as you can see that. Just drag it down. That's good for the time being. And this will help soften it a touch. There we go. All right, now I'm almost done for the underpainting here. I just want to bring this out a bit more. I think that could do with coming out a bit more there. This area here, create a bit of an embankment coming out a touch. All right. I hope you can see the intent there. Okay. Now I'm wondering, should I put in? I think I will. I think I'll just continue to mess about here for a little bit. I'm just going to put on some more of this area here, up and around the tree here. I want a cool silhouette here, just nice and gently for the time being. Just get this in. And then, sometimes I prefer to scumble this in, you know, and I'm thinking about maybe I should do that now. I know I should stop and maybe just scumble it in. I like the idea of scumbling it. For me, I much prefer to do it. I just don't know why. I think it's just, I used to do an awful lot of, what do you call it, alla prima painting. Just doing it in a one sitting and then moving on. And then I moved away from doing it that way because I realised I have plenty of time. So I may as well use my time. A little bit of warmth in it there. I put a little bit of cadmium red in it because the light source is directly above this. I'm just going to keep it warm. But let me see about this. No, I think I'm going to scumble this on rather than do it this way. I feel for myself I have more control over it this way, over it that way. And the same down here, I'm just marking for it, just in there. Alright, and then a couple of trees up in here. But I need to work on this house part of it first. So, I needed to make a decision on the roof of the house. What to do about it. And you know what, I think I'll make that decision some other time. I'll just let that be for now. And now I have my base down. There you go, folks. Well, for you it'll just be a second. For me it'll probably be a day or two, maybe even more. Anyway, I'll see you all soon enough. And bye for now. Don't want to put out too much paint today. What I have out already has been sitting there for a bit and it's created a dry skin. I don't want to waste any more. And I'm sorry, folks. I just realised that the mic was in my pocket, so I'm sure you might have missed most of that. Anyway, right. Well, we'll see. Anyway, I'm going to create this here. A bit of a deeper orange. And then just be a little bit of liquid in it just to move it around a touch. And let me just see where I am here. I don't want to be too... I want to make sure that yeah, it's a bit saturated, that a little bit of the grey in it here. Let me just see here. It's a bit better. This is this coming in here, just the light breaking through. Don't too much. These types of little highlights are nice if they're not overused, but if they're overused, they become overused, I suppose. Right, so let's continue scumbling this sky in here. Just a bit brighter than not. A bit brighter. Yeah, it's a bit better, but still a bit brighter. I'm not trying to completely cover up the underpainting here. Just wanting to leave a good bit of it behind, so that it looks textured. A little bit of yellow in it as I'm moving away from the center. Okay, I'm just taking a step back. I'm going to use a different brush. I want to use a bit of a cleaner brush. Now I want to get this in here. Okay, a little bit of yellow in it. That's a bit better. As I'm moving away from that center light, I just want it to fade into a yellow. Okay. Now, that's a bit too white, so I'm just going to pure yellow it almost. There we go. There we go. That's creating a nice gradient there. And I will orange it up in certain areas soon enough. Okay, now let me just have a wee look. Right, now I'm going to work a little bit of this in with my finger. I'm making sure I have a clean finger here. Just want to work it in. Yeah, don't have any clean fingers. There we go. Right, now the same with this over here. Just working this in. Let's create, let's fill in this cloud area here. Let's see now, is this too dark? It's a bit dark, yes it is, a bit dark. It's a bit better. Yeah, a little bit of red in it. Because we're at right at the very edge where the light's hitting it. I think I have put a bit too much red in that. Pinked it up a bit too much. But I can still use it for the edges. Okay, that's about, it's okay now. I can come down in here and just create that sense of light breaking into the clouds. Alright, now let's just mess around with this a touch here. This is a dry brush that I'm using here because my fingers aren't clean. I'm just going to work this in. And I'm not being careful with it. Too careful at this stage. Just want to create that texture. There we go. Right. Now let's get back to the initial clouds here, or the initial light coming into the clouds it was doing. Let me see. Bit more saturated than that. Bit more orange. Now I want a good strong orange down at the base of it here. Just in here. Oh, let me I'm going to take a little bit off the brush and scumble this in. There we go. A little bit more than that. Just work that in. Yeah, like I say, I've been taking a bit of time off recently. I'm just feeling a wee bit, trying to produce for YouTube, it can be a bit of a burnout at times. Or at least that feeling of it anyway. Right, so let's get the these clouds established along here. No, not happy with that. No, just use the orange that I have down here. Just grey it out a little bit with that violet. Okay. Now it needs to be a bit brighter. And just use the white to brighten it. Alright, now we're establishing that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little walk back and see where I am here. Alright. Still a fair amount of work to do, but I'm getting there with this guy. Let it dry before I put the main light source in it. Okay. I think what I'll do now is I'll just begin working on the grass here. Okay. So a nice grey orange here for the grass. A little bit of blue in it just to help green it out a touch. Right. Well, I think that might be a bit too saturated. I'll just knock it back with a little bit of raw umber. Now I want to establish this line here, right across here. Okay, so I don't mind there being a number of planes here, if that's what develops. See, this is the thing about reference photos. Reference photos tie you to what's there. So as much as I do use them, I just leave them sitting there. And then I occasionally come back and look at them, and so I do use reference photos quite a lot actually. I keep saying that, but I don't stick to them. I use them, but a better way to put it would be that I don't stick to reference photos. Not all the time. I mean, commissions, of course, people want things done their way, so you do it that way. So I get a little bit of a green here, just going in front of the barn here, but a bit darker. Dark green blue. Just establish this in here for now. Now, I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to work a little bit on the bushes going up into the clouds here while it's still a little bit wet along here, and maybe the same over here, depending on whether I could be bothered or not. There is that as well. Okay. All right. Now, how to do this? I'm going to use somewhat of a real scumble, a real dry scumble on this. And let's get us a nice dark yet warm thin mix here. This is kind of a dryish brush. I'm just going to be testing this here. You know what? I think that is all but perfect. Maybe a bit warmer, maybe. And you see the way that the dry brush in this acts as a bit of a blender and scumbler at the same time. You're just working it in both directions, up into the sky and down into the existing bushes along here. Nothing special about this brush, it's just a flat brush that has been well used. Nothing special, it's a little bit soft on it and that helps with it, but like I say, nothing special about it. Now it's creating those lovely soft edges that you get in this type of landscape, and that nice soft edges off in the distance with lots of breaks in it. Okay, now I'm going to soften it even more with a little bit of a blending brush here. Just misting that up a touch. There we go. Excuse me. Okay, now I'm just going to check to see what I have here. So let's put in some things here. Now, let me see, a little bit of blue. I want this to be a good purple. A nice warm purple breaking through the trees here. So, again, same process, only this time a little bit more gentler. A little bit more breaking up here and there and creating a shape. Now I think that's a bit too dark for my purposes, so let's lighten it up a touch. I'm taking a lot of it off the brush here and just and you see now it gives it that sense of the tree spreading out a little bit. I'll come along, I'll put in some branches here and there just to help sell that effect. All right, now what do I think of this? It's okay so far now. Right, so I think I'll just put in a preliminary branch here and there just to let me see what I think of it. What I think of the overall tone and shape and whatnot, and I'm just A bit darker maybe. I want to be a bit more careful than what I'm being here, so just establishing this. I think I'll create a few holes in between these trunks here just to create some distance, as if something's going on behind this here. Okay, and I'll do that with some cotton buds. All right, cotton buds and a little bit of spirits. Okay. Just a bit now. Just putting it down onto it. Now you won't see much of a difference for the minute, for the time being, but it'll start to scrape up in a second whenever I turn the thing around and create a... There we go. Just lifting some of that paint off. Creating that distance in between the branches and the trunks. Okay. Alright, get back to this dry brush, and I'm going to take most of it off here. It's almost clean, and then I'm just going to soften that into it. There we go. Now that's a little trick for you to create spaces between trunks. Now I'm just going to paint in some trunks here to help sell that effect. I don't want it too dark at the same time, but I do need to establish that, so I do. Okay. Now, let's just take a lot of this off again with this brush. There we go. Right. Now I'm going to just work on this one here. Pretty much the same thing, only a slightly different color. I want more red in it over on this side here. I want it established as a bit warm over here. All right, let me just making sure that I'm not too much on the brush. Just spreading this about is all I'm doing. Creating that haze. Now, a little bit of a darker, warmer glaze down at the bottom here. Gently working that in. Remember, I'm on extra fine cotton canvas here, so if I push too hard, it will start lifting it off the canvas. So just being gentle with it, you know, that's all. I just want to the wee house to be covered up somewhat, you know? Like it's being buried in amongst all these trees and all this life. Okay. Now where's that other brush? There we go. Establish this about here. Just establish a nice, reasonably thick trunk here. And then as we get up further, it just thins out. Now this brush is losing its edge. It's fine for now. It's fine to put down the underpainting, as it were. Creates a lot of little gaps here and there, which is kind of cool. It's a cool effect. Right, so it's established. Just bring it down a little bit more, down into this type of embankment thing here. Okay, that brings it forward. As you can see, that brings it forward a good bit. I'm going to put another one here, just right in front of this, a smaller one off in the distance. Right in front of the barn here. Now, I'm not going to completely finish this tree here in case I want to do further work on the barn. I'm just going to establish it. Okay, a little bit of a thicker trunk, I think. Just coming down here and just slightly widening as we come down. For now, anyway. That's it. Hidden off in the thing. Now, I'm really not happy with this here. I think I've gone a bit too far with how thick those trunks are. So, I'm going to remove what's there. A little bit. Now where's the... Just using the cotton bud again to take off that black paint that I had put down. Or that darkened paint. Just removing it a little bit. Just not happy with it at all, folks. So, if you're not happy with it, the joy of painting is in just re-establishing it. Take it off, re-establish it. You're not happy with that? Take that off and re-establish it. It is the beauty of it, actually. It's actually a wonderful thing for that. It teaches you that mistakes are not definite. Mistakes are not forever. You know, and I think that's a brilliant lesson in anything. It allows you to just realize, oh, I can fix this. And then hopefully, without trying to sound too douchey and philosophical, hopefully you carry that lesson on through a lot of other things that you're doing. I think it's brilliant for that, actually. Now, it is a bit bright, so Let's just re-establish some of that. Here and there, just covering a little bit of it up. Okay. And then one more little pull off. And so far, that's okay. I think I'll just, for the time being, I'll just leave that. So I will, let me see now, I just got some sort of text message or something. I'm not sure what I got there. Let me see, right. Anyway. Now I want along here, because of the light shine, I'm going to brighten this a touch. Why is? As I say, there's a main light source to go in along here, and I'm keeping that in mind as I'm doing this. Wanting it to be nice and have a nice rough look about it. All right. Now, the way this, yes, I know how to fix this. I'm just not happy with this roof here. It looks as if it's drooping down, only because I haven't filled it in with some of the tree coming over it is all. There we go now. Now it looks as if it's being hidden, being buried in that tree. Okay. Yeah, I can't do say that day. So let me see, there's still a fair bit of work to do. I think when the time comes, I will work a little bit more on that and darken it down a little bit, a bit more of a silhouette. But I think that'll do for now. I will be back shortly enough. Bye for now. Alright folks, back for another little jaunt. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to darken this barn down a little bit. Mess around with these front grasses, just for the time being. And I'll work on the sky at a later date maybe. Anyway, let's begin. Let's darken this barn down just a touch. I think it's a bit too in your face there, it's a bit too bright. So just some black. And a little bit of oxide red, and just to warm it up. And we're going to see what this looks like with a glaze first. Now a bit thinner than that maybe. Some liquid. Let me see. And this glaze will leave behind a lot of the texture that I have put down already. Maybe a bit darker still. Let me see. There we go. I think that's a bit better. To my eye, that's a bit better. Just blend that in there. Over that tree. Try not to go up into the sky here. And this way of doing it here will also help it fit in a bit more, I think. I'm going to put this on, and then I'm going to be wiping it off to some degree. Let's go down the sides here. And you see, doing it this way leaves behind a lot of what you've already done. It's kind of a cool way to just tint your work without actually ruining it. There we go, that's darkened it down a touch. Now, let me just have a wee look here. Yeah, I think there's a few things left to do on it here. A little bit of cooler colors around the edges, some blues. Down in here, getting this door in. Just trying to maintain the contrast between the cold and the warmth. Now I'm just going to remove this on purpose. I want a bit of light on that side of it there. All right, okay. Now, let me just see here. I'm going to work this in. All right, I think I'm going to take a moment and leave that for the time being. Right, now. Let us begin on the grasses. Along here, I want to fix up this area and along here, so let's do such a thing. You see where we are? It's a bit too... Is it okay? Maybe too saturated. I'll blue it out a little bit. Tiny little blue in it. I'll grey that a touch. A little bit of liquid. Just wipe it off here, but there's not too much on the brush. And just putting this in here and I don't know, I'm sure I've said it before, but I think there are real advantages and real disadvantages to just doing it off the top of your head. Even though I look at reference photos, a lot of it is still off the top of my head. I don't stick tightly to them. And the disadvantage sometimes is that you're kind of making it up as you go along. Not kind of, you are making it up as you go along. And it's a challenge, but it's one of those very satisfying challenges that whenever it pays off, it can be very satisfying. Not always successful though. Okay, now beginning to develop something here. So let's see what we're like down here. Get some green going. Just the gray green. Down along here. The front. Ish, just along here. Frontish. So let's just try not to cover up too much of what's been laid down. Oops, I did not mean to go down in there. It was a slip of the brush. Doing it this way leaves a lot of the underpainting behind. Or leaves some of it, not a lot of it, some of it behind. Okay. Now, I want a good red tinge at the front here of just some grasses. I'll bring this out a little bit as well here on this side. So let's do that then. Let me see here. And nice grey green going on here. Just right. And just take this back a bit here. It's already pretty dry. All right. Now let me see where I am. Right. So I'm just going to dapple this in. I want the effects of lots of little things going on here. So I'm just going to stipple, dapple, or however you want to put it. Stipple and dapple this in. A nice red saturated grass down here. None of those dead grasses that you get. It can be quite nice at times. Anyway, I'm going to use a fan brush to do this. Or, no, I'm not that keen on the fan brushes. So I'm just going to use a really rough brush here. Let's see. Now, just go in the direction that you want to go in. Bringing it down in here. Messing it around over here. Now, I want to get it darkened down in here. A nice red, a nice dark grassy red just down in here. Let me see now. It's coming along rightly, I think. Sometimes it just takes a little bit more than what you would think. And I honestly don't know what I'm saying here. I'll do this with a dry brush here, so I'll blend that in a nice rough way. And there we go. Now, and the same over here. Just want to get this nice and roughly put in for now. And before I go any further and ruin it, I think I'm gonna call it a day here. I've only been doing it for about 10 minutes, but I just don't seem to have the energy for it today. So I'm just gonna walk away from it. Now there's a tip for you. Actually, folks, there's a real tip for you. Sometimes you can push through depending on it, but there are other times when you just need to walk away. And I think that this is it. I'll see you all again soon enough. Bye for now. Okay, folks, I'm gonna head back into this one now. I haven't been at this one for quite a few weeks, nearly 6 or 7 weeks, and so it's completely and fully dry. Right, so I'm gonna work on this guy here, scumbling and messing around, just see where we are. I want to fix up this barn and the trees and around here, and kind of get the top area almost finished, and then move down into this area. I'll see what I get done today. Right, so a lot of this will be scumbling, and scumbling is merely just a thin layer of paint. Is all it is. Simple as that, actually. There really isn't much more of an explanation for it. You can glaze, you can scumble. This will be a combination of glazing and scumbling. So it will actually, yes, a combination of glazing and scumbling. Let me see. No, it needs to be whiter than that. Let me just remove an awful lot of this. It's just a thin layer, and I'm just like, I suppose the way you could look at it is that I'm scraping it on. Now, I don't know how much you will see of this, see the difference of it. But overall, if you take a quick jump back, you'll see that there is a brightness happening. Okay, I just want to just shaping these clouds with the later part of this. Now I'm going to glaze this area in and around here, so I'm going to add, I don't want to move too far ahead of myself here first. Let's just get this area in here done. And then I'll go in and shape the clouds. Nice and gently. Just brightening that area up at the top to create a little bit more light coming in. Now, going to add a little bit of liquid here just to create a bit of a glaziness to help shape these clouds a little bit. Just in here, bringing a bit of light into them. Oh. Not too much. A little bit of lightness up in here as well. Okay, now let me take a step back and just see where we are here. Now I want to soften this bond along here. Yeah, okay. Well, bit of a slightly different brush. Again, just cheap brushes, nothing special about them. So I want to create an orange up in here and create an orangey glaze. I'll do that with my red and my yellow here. I probably will have to put out a little bit more of each, but we'll see. Oh, I hope you didn't hear that. That was my stomach. Anyway. Anyway, that's a bit too orange. So let's come in here now with a bit more yellow and a bit of white and glaze this on. A bit more white. I'll take a little bit off the brush, just a little bit. Okay, well, you see, that's kind of creating more of a gradient in here. I'm happy enough with this now. Bring that up into the top here. As I say, it's creating more of a gradient here. All right, now a little bit of yellow actually, just to get it in here, create that. And I think I'm going to put out some yellow here. Oh. All right, so just a little bit now. There we go, right across in here. Just coloring, just toning this sky. That's all I'm doing, just toning it up a bit. And a little bit more white just in here to help create that gradient. I'll keep that gradient there. All right, now hopefully you can see it now. Oh, that's fine. Yeah, no, not happy with that. So let's get some more white in there. Just use pure white this time, no liquid or anything. Because it's already wet, it will blend easy enough. And there's already liquid on here, so it will help dry it. There we go. Right, now I want a bit of a light breaking through this area here. So let's do such a thing then. A nice wee flat brush would do me, but I'm not sure I can find one. No. Yeah, I'll try it. I'll try it. So a little bit of a yellow here, a little bit of orange in it, and then a good bit of white, just to get this contrast going here. A little bit of liquid. Okay, now let's see. Just down in here. All right, okay. Now we get the sense that some light is breaking through clouds here. Hopefully we do anyway. That's the main purpose here at the minute. Right. Having some brighter spots as well here and there, you know. My stomach is. I hope you can't hear that. That's. Oh dear, oh dear. Anyway. All right, I just want to take a moment to see here. Okay. Now let's go for a nice, really bright yellow in certain areas, just up in here, and see if I can get this to work for myself. Yep, there we go. A little bit brighter. Now I want to soften some of that as well. Okay. So to soften that, I'll just use, if I can find it, there we go, my little trusty softener. There we go. Now, all right. think I will make it a little bit brighter when the time comes, but for now I'm going to work on these trees here. So a bit of a darkish color here. Let's get some, it'll be more of a reddish darky color here, that kind of the purplish that we have going on there. Okay, so a good amount of red on it, but I don't want it to be too cold at the. I want it to be cold at the base, sorry, and kind of slightly warmer as I'm getting further on up. I want to cover a good bit of this barn. So let me see here. It is appearing darker because, well, this is all very wet, and probably because it is a touch darker, but it'll give a bit of life to the base of these trees here. Just covering this up. I need it to be a little bit more violet in certain areas. Cool violet. Okay, that's a good one there. There we go. I'm just gonna use my fingy to work this in here. Now you can see that the barn is being pushed back a bit and behind these trees here. And I'm going to lower the plane of the tree here, just to bring it in front of this barn. There we go. Now, that is work with this here. Let me just mess around a little bit with the edges of this, working this in a touch. A little bit on the cloth itself, just work it in. You see, all I'm doing is using what I already have, and it's on the edge of the cloth here. And I'm just shaping these trees a little bit with what I've already got. All right, now, let me see. Now, I'm not too happy with it. I don't think that it's pushing the barn back far enough. I'll maybe lift the base of the barn up to push it back a bit, but no, I think I need to make it a little bit darker in certain areas here. So get a little bit of lamp black on this here and just hide this a little bit here. Okay. Yeah, that's a bit better. Now I'm going to use what do you call these, cotton buds here, just to remove all I do is pull the tip of this off a little bit, and there's a little bit of cotton wool left behind, but okay. It gives us a sense of tree there now, in the middle of it. But what I want to do, where is my? I just want to create more tree trunks. Just up in here, just a nice thick one here. There now. Alright, so I'm going to do the same again on the other side of this barn, just to knock the edge of this in here. As I say, when I start to work on this grass, I'm going to lift the base of the barn up a bit, and that'll help push it back a touch. There we go. Alright. That should help a bit. So it should help a bit of hiding that barn, as if it has some overgrowth and it's being stuck in the everything's growing around it. Okay, so I'm going to work on this one here. Now, where's my man? Where did I? There we go. Okay. I don't want this to be too dark, so I'm going to thin it out a good bit and see what it looks like, and then and work from there. All right. So far, eh? So far. A little bit of black. Oh, I'll put a little bit of oxide red in it too, and give it the sense that that warm light is shining through it. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, I'm happier with that now. We're getting somewhere with this right now, so we are. So just cross them over. That's one thing that people don't do, is that they create these branches, but they don't realize the branches cross through each other and around each other, and they paint them as if they're separate from the tree rather than being a part of the tree. And I myself at times am guilty of such a thing. Alright, now I'm going to do this one over here, just nice and gently, just a small one here. A little bit more liquid, a little bit of darkness in it. Let me see. Oh, that's too much. I don't like that at all. Do not like that at all. Okay. Easy fix. Just wipe it off. Nothing special about the fix. You just simply wipe it off. Okay. Now, back to it. Now I've got a wee fly flying around here. Well, on your way. All right. Now I just want to mess around with this base a little bit here, because it's I want to bring it forward a touch. I want to shape this into a slightly flat. No, that should bring that forward a good bit. There we go. I'm just giving myself some thought here. See where we are. I just want this to be affecting this. So I'm going to be having a wee rummage around just to see where I am with colors and tones. I think this may be a bit bright. Okay, now that's the, that gives the impression that this is the light affecting this immediate area here. Okay, now I want to come over to this area here, so a bit darker, a bit grayer, a bit colder. Because the light isn't directly over it, so it's got some shadows, and that creates a cooler area. Now, let me see. It's okay, it's a bit too bright. Let me see here. And my idea is to lift this barn up a touch, just to push it back a bit. And I think that is what I have done. Pushed it back a touch. And I think we'll lift this embankment up just a bit. A bit of coolness. Let me see now. I just want to bring this up a touch here. Yeah. And give this will help with the perspective a bit, so it'll make this area of the land look more narrow, as if you're slightly lower down. Let me see. There we go. Now it is. You know what? It's fine. I think sometimes I can be a bit too critical, but I think maybe it's a bit uneven. So I'll just lift it up a bit over here. When I say uneven, it's not very level, is what I mean by uneven. Okay, let me see. That's a bit better. Right. Just having a wee think and a wee thunk. So I'm going to put in some fencing here, a little bit of fences. Okay, so get me where's my small round brush? Can't find it. But I suppose I need a new one anyway. Okay. Now, lots of little posts along here. have a small fence going along here, folks. Probably should have started at this side because I'm left-handed. This is just adding a little bit of detail, give it a little bit of actual life to the field here. Okay, now let me see. Where is it? Where is it? There it is. There it is. Just looking for a little bit of. Okay, so nice and gently. Try not to be too. I don't want to be too. This is all in the distance, and I don't want to be too fine with it. You're gonna have broken parts and whatnot, and it's an old fence. It's off in the distance, so a lot of it is going to be broken and whatnot, or at least that's how you're going to see it, that's how you're going to view it. Okay, now just removing this part here. Ah, come on, get off. There we go. A little bit of light here and there. Is that too much? I think it might be a bit too much. Just a little bit of light. Okay, a little bit more in an area here. Okay, let's just. Now I'm taking, if you can see what I'm doing here, I'm scraping a bit of this off and then I'm wiping it off here and leaving a little bead of it there, just a small bead, to do the sides of the posts here. I don't need to do all of them. Just need to give the sense that the light's hitting it there. Okay, right, let me just fix certain parts of this up. Just continue to work on it until I'm happy with this area of it first. So let me just. They really, see these palette knives? They really should make them so they don't shine. The light shining directly on it and you can't see what you're doing. Right, for now, that's fine. So let's see now, let's put on some more here. Give me some yellow, some blue. I want to create a cool green. I'm just using the light here to grey it out a touch, and now let me see how bright that is. Yeah. Okay, let's plan now. Now I want this to be quite a distinct look here. That this is definitely the embankment behind it. Okay, a little bit. Now just to change up things a little bit, just put a little bit of color in it here and there. Just, as you know, fields are all not the same. Okay. And the barn is well hidden. I maybe darken it a bit further, but I don't think so, but we'll see. I'm not quite made up my mind on it yet. Right, well, for now, that'll do. I'll be back. I'm going to go and have a wee coffee, and I'll see you soon enough. Alright, folks, let's back and tackle this one up a little bit here. So let's see, what to work on. I think I'll work on sorting this area out here a little bit for now. Okay, so this is a couple of hours later from the last time you saw me here. Right, let me see. It is a bit tacky here, but it's still a bit wet. Let's get a few things established here. Now the stuff that's on the pallet here is a bit, it's a bit dried up, but work with what we've got. Now I'm going to work on this area here, so I'm going to bring this bit of land further on up and to close off this gap a touch. I'm going to make it a bit of a bluey green, or more of a grey green, I should say. Alright, let's see now. So let's bring this up a touch. No. Just trying to create a nice wee bit of inlet there, a wee bit of inlet around here, and then one around this side as well, where the water is just making its way in. Right. Now, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to establish this red part of the water here. Okay, and I'm just playing with it for the time being. Right, so let's get the red going. And this is quite an old red here. I probably should put out fresh stuff, but I don't like wasting paint, and I think if it's good enough, I will use it. I'm really not that keen on wasting paint at all. Now it needs to be a bit more orange than that. So that's if you ever see me doing that, that's all I'm doing there is I'm just testing, putting it down and testing it. Listen, I'm not really making any proper commitments to it at that stage. Just putting it down, testing the tone and testing the color, but mainly the tone. Now I'll need to darken up the edges here somewhat in some areas. Okay. Now, and I will work on that now. So I will. Just using cheap brushes here. Again, I think I got these off Amazon. I don't know. Very, very cheap. I'm not even sure if I can read the name of them. Rock Ninja or something. No point for me, the way I paint, of getting very expensive brushes for landscape. unless I'm doing proper refined stuff, and the details on top are sometimes you'd use a more refined brush. Right, anyway, enough chitter chatter. Let's darken these the edges of these embankments here. Help create some shape here. Let's see. There, you see now? That helps bring it in a bit. Have them creating little inlets here and there. Okay. Just taking my time with this one. Not in any real rush with it. Okay. All right. Now you can see the shape of that. That really does help with the embankment. What I'm going to do with that red area, I'm going to lighten it a wee bit. I think it's a bit too red, so I'm going to orange it up a bit. Just put a thin coat of glaze on it, just to lighten this area here a touch. Let me see. Right, no, that's fine. That looks okay. Try not to contaminate it with the stuff that I have down. Just slightly covering it over. Keeping some of it, I don't want to completely cover it all, but just keeping some of it. A nice dark red. So it's not going to be a complete cover up. Okay. I'm going to work. I think I'm happy enough with. No, I think I'm going to lighten this area up down here. So, just a bit. And again, it's going to be more of a glaze, that orangey glaze, just to lighten that out. And it's going to be. Well, I'm going to test it first. I'm not going to make any promises at this stage. I just want to see here. I think maybe a bit brighter than that still. This is a highly saturated painting. The the sun is coming down. It's creating some very deep and warm colors. That's the intent anyway. Just gently come into here. I don't want to ruin this. I'm going to use a fair bit of liquid here just to thin this out a touch. I don't want to be going into here. I don't want to be ruining it too much. Just a gentle scumble, and I'll use my finger to bring this together here. Okay. Now maybe, let me have a look at that. No, I'm not too happy with that. So I'm going to go with a light, maybe a light orange here. Let me see. Yeah, something like that, light. All right, not too far from it now. Okay. Probably a bit brighter than that. Okay. Nice and gently. Just messing around. Scumbling and playing and scumbling and playing. That's all that's happening here. Now I want to use my finger, my little finger, but it's all yellowed out. So I'm just going to play here. There we go. All in the one direction. To give that sense of water here. Now I'm going to really thin this out. Put a fair amount of liquid on it. In fact, so much so I need a little bit more. My liquid bottle is leaking. Okay, it's leaking at the bottom, so I think I'm just going to turn it upside down, hope for the best. Right. Now, what was I going to do there, folks? I got a bit lost with that liquid in there. What was I going to do? Yeah, okay. It's going to... This is me working this in now. Making sure that, trying to get a soft gradient between what I have down here. Just working it in. Nice and gently. Now what I want to do here is create a bit of light down here. Oops. I'm just going to use a pure white here, and I'm just going to use it to blend in what's already wet down here. Okay, I'll just soften that in. It'll help whiten it a bit. Or brighten it a bit, I should say. I don't mind that little streak across there. Help with the look of the water. But I would like it a bit brighter. I will say I would like it a touch brighter. I might end up having to scumble this one in. So I might letting it dry and then putting it in a bit of a brighter colour. Let me see what that's like. Once I do a little bit of dibbing and dabbing. Nice and gently, softening it up, and then I'll just come down. All right. That's not bad. Now I wanna put this in now while some of it is there. This is from earlier, and it should be still wet enough to create a stain, but I'm beginning to I'm beginning to think that that's not the case. No. Okay. No, 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 no. Now all I'm doing here is simple. Just scumbling this one on, because this is relatively dry up here. So I'm going to remove an awful lot off the brush. A good bit off it. And this is already dry up here. So I'm just going to... This is the reflections of the trees up here. Yeah, it needs to be a bit more purple than what I have there. There we go. Let me see this now. Alright, you can see that okay. Right, now. I just want to mess around with this here. Okay. Now, getting ourselves some movement here. I'll be moving into the details soon enough on this, creating a bit of light up in here, and then creating some light in the water, and then fixing the details along the embankment here. And in fact, what I'll do is I'll work on this embankment here while I have some colors on the palette. Let me see. Too bright, probably a touch too bright. Not too bad though. Let me see here. Just want this now, just it is not right for the time being. A little bit darker. A little bit darker here. Let me see now. Right, okay, so just going to roll this down into the water here to give it that idea of randomness. I like this rolling effect of brushes. I think it can create a fair bit of randomness in where nature is, you know. Not all the time. I mean, you need some refinement here and there at times. But it helps keep the abstract for me anyway. Now I'm just going to randomize this up in here a little bit. Bum, 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 ba-da-ba-bum. That should help. Just having a wee look at this now. Okay. And it's deserved of some highlights when the time comes. No. Let's get some darkness in down around here with just some as if it's what do you call it? Blades of grass here. So nice and warm as we're heading into this water here. Oops, it dizzy. A little bit of darkness to contrast that light. Let me see here. You see? Just bringing this in now. I just want to take a little bit up over here. Nice and random. There we go. Okay. All right. Let's work on this part of it here. Let's just get this finished, this area finished here, as best as I can at least. Good green here, nice brightish green as it were comparatively, compared to everything else that's down. It's still going to be a grey green, but compared to what's down, it'll be a nice green. Just mixing it in, just blending it in with what's above there. Trying not to completely remove the background work here. Okay, I'm just letting that be there, just. Excuse me. Okay. So I'm going to, just for my own sake here, I'm just going to put in some of the water reflections. I want to see where I am with it here. No. All right. Let's see. Now this canvas is a bit loose. So it is. I think I'll use the other knife. It's more broken. It gives it more of a random look. Yeah, I much prefer this one for this type of work. Okay, as I say, folks, I haven't been on for a while. I've been away from painting for about 5 or 6 weeks. Just think you go through phases, you know, like anything else. But I have to say that's the longest phase I've gone through in a while. You come back refreshed, you know, ready to go again. Hopefully, that's the goal anyway. All right, now all I'm doing this for is to give me some markings for whenever I come back, because I want to put some more light in and around here, especially this light here, down in here. I like that. That's a nice effect, I think. Just scraping that on. To me, gives a very realistic effect here. And then coming across the brighter area, it looks dark. And then look, the same one, coming across the darker area, it looks bright. Okay. Now, what I think I'm going to do with this is I'm going to let this one dry and then come in and just start laying in most of the detail. It's nearly finished, but I do want to put in more reflections. I think actually, before I go, I think I'll put a little bit more in here and there. Just along here, just as a reminder. That's what I want. Okay, yeah, that's a bit better. I don't want to touch here too much. As I say, I'm going to be working on that area. Just playing for the minute, folks. Just seeing what I've got and just playing with it. Right, okay, I'll see you all again soon enough. Okay, folks, right. Now back to this one. Now what I'm going to do here is just going to add some detail in, and then I'll be finished with it. I want to fix up the barn here, and then a few ticks and flicks in here and there. Just the detail side of things. I want to darken this tree a little bit. It probably would be better. This is dry. It would probably be better putting a coat of liquid on it. I think I will do that actually, and it won't be liquid. I'll put on this this galkite here. Hopefully you can see that. I put a little bit on the palette here and just brush it on. Not much. Well, it's probably more than I need, but I'm just going to brush this on with a nice softies brush. And all I want to do, and then I'll wipe most of it off. But and all this will do, see, this is very dry. This has been a few weeks since I've been working on it. And this will help lift the darks so that I can judge better the tone of things. Look at that. See where that's brought that up a bit? Hopefully you can see that. So I'm going to be putting this on pretty, I wouldn't say very thick, but thicker than probably a should. And then I'm going to be wiping it off. Mostly off. I'll just leave a thin residue of it behind. All I want to do is cover this. And that helps darken those darks for me. Just taking this, what I have on the palette here, and just spreading it around. And it will also give me a nice slick surface to work on. Look at the way that makes that pop. Hopefully the camera can pick up on that. Now, as I say, I am going to be putting on, I'm going to be wiping most of this off, just leaving that residue behind. Right, I'll just get this in some. And let me see what I am doing. Now, I don't want to be wiping so hard that I take off anything off the canvas. I am wiping it and trying to take a good lot of that off, but I don't want to really wipe so hard that I remove paint off the canvas, which is easy to do, you know, easier than you think. So there's a certain level of being careful with this. Okay, and that will do. Now because of this, I'm just going to be using a lot of small brushes. This is all the little ticks and flicks. There's nothing special about these brushes. You don't really, just small liner brushes and rigger brushes and stuff, and a small flat. Alright, so, and all this will be for is to create, oh, I want to work on that, I forgot about that. Right, I want to create a bit of a better roof on this. So I'm going to go for a nice purple, like a tile roof. Okay. Right. So coolish, nice and cold roof against the hot sky. A velvety cold grey. Now that's obviously too velvet, so I'm gonna be really knocking this back. And that lamp black will really bring it down. A little bit of red in it. And let me see now. Now I don't normally use Galcade anymore, but I only used it here today because it's nice and thin and it can create that nice thin layer on it. So let me see, I think that's too bright. Yeah, it's not so bad, you know. Really isn't. A little bit more blue in it. A little bit more black. So I'm going to have to use my rest here, my maul stick as it were, and just mess around with this. I'm not going to be too, I want it to look as if there's lots of holes in it, like that the barn roof is well beaten. And I'm just changing up the colors here and there, just so that it's not all the same. Nice right across the top and down there, just making that just that little bit rough, bringing it all the way down and creating the rougher sides and the rougher edges. And then I'll come in with some pure black in a moment or two to create the holes in it. Very nice that wee light of laying down the side there. And the same here. Nice and rough, folks. This is a beat up old barn. That's all, just a well beaten barn that's seen way better days. Right, now let me see. Now, I want this tree coming into it here, so I'm going to take a bit of it off. Here, just rolling this around, just creating that broken edge. All right, well, I'm almost there. I'm almost happy with this, believe it or not. I hope you're not getting the sound of that cloth here. So I'm going to just go and put in almost pure black here. I want to mix it a little bit with what I've got down. And all I'm doing here is just creating some holes in it. See, just a little bit. You don't want to overdo that. Now, I want to just finish this tree coming through it here. And there we go. Yes. Okay. Now, I'm happy with that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to work on putting a little bit more texture in this area here. So glazes. So darks mostly, just to create the textures, the little hills and the things in it, and yeah, maybe a touch darker, just a touch darker. Okay, so let me see. No, that's too dark now. And all this is just creating all that texture you see in these little grass fields. That's all. Just little moments of light bouncing in and creating shadows. Right. Okay, now I'm going to do the same, only this time with a lighter, slightly lighter touch to it. Now I don't want to be too saturated, so I'm going to add a little bit of the sky to it. Okay, so let me see here. Now you see me putting that layer of Galcade down really helps this flow a bit better whenever it's so dry like this. And all I'm doing here is those dark patches that I put down, I'm staying away from them. I'm just going above them and in and around them. I'm not going over them. And that will create the idea of 3 dimensions. So you'll have the light, the light part of the dimension, the darker part of the dimension, and then the middle tone. And that should help create some texture in here. Little bits, little ticks, just all sells the illusion that there's something else going on, that there's more to it than what you see. Hopefully that's what it does. Now let me see. I'm happy with this. Going well, I would say. Okay, now. Let me see now. Now just a bit of a different, just a bit of a different color, maybe just to help change it up a touch. A little bit of red in it. And that green there, here, this green will help knock this red back a bit. So it will. See now, just playing with it here. This will help, as I say, it'll help sell the illusion of it all. Okay. Now I'm just going to put in some little slithers of grass, just making them come in and out. So this is a thin mix, quite thin actually. More a very like ink consistency type thing. Let me see now where we are here. I just want to check on this. There we go. As I say, hopefully you can see this on camera. You should be able to though. That should help a little bit. Now, I want to come over to this side here and do pretty much the same thing, only different shades and different colors and whatnot. Just creating, trying to keep the idea that this is all one busy landscape. Not busy, what's the word I'm looking for? Textured landscape. Now, let's see here if I can get this to come down and over for me like so. See that? Look at that. Just creating the idea of that grass coming down here. Breaking it up a little bit as well. And you got that overreach, that overhanging grass. Now, let's get some white. I want to put the idea of reeds in it. Just here, not too much, and just being cautious of it, you know. Is that too bright? As I say, it's more the idea of it. I will knock that back whenever I get the chance. Okay. Now, let's knock that back a touch. Just with a dry brush, just. Still maintaining the texture and just pulling that back a bit. Okay. Right. So a bit of a darker area up in here. Just bringing this, get more texture up in this part of it here. I don't want it too dark, but there are certain areas that are in landscapes that the light just isn't getting to. So some of that can be quite dark. Now the sun, the light is shining directly down onto this area, so I'm going to just lighten it just a touch. Just a little bit of yellow on, not orange. Make it a thin mix, a little bit of white, nice and thin. Just to brighten it just a touch. Just to slightly differentiate it from the grass around it. This is being glazed on, so I'll be coming along in a moment or two and wiping some of it off. See that now? That just brightens it a little bit. And now I'm going to take a good bit of it off. And as you see, that leaves the residue behind. It makes it a little bit brighter. Right. Now, I think I'm all but done. What I need to do is put in a lot of little bits of grass in it here and there, and then have the light shining in the water and put a few more flecks in that. And that should kind of do it, I think. Put a little good bit more grass here. Now, it's going to be silhouetted, a lot of it's going to be silhouetted against the water here. So I'm just going to play with this to begin with, just to see where I am. Oh yeah, that's nice, that's good. And then what I do up here, I will do down here to some degree. I don't have to completely copy it, but I'll bring some of it down. There we go. Just let this come up and out here. Oh, needs to be a bit thinner. Let me see now, a little bit here. Too much. Let me take a little bit of that off. And see how easily that's removed. So there's no, this is to show you as well, there's no real need for panic. Yeah, just take it off. Start again. Now this is giving it a nice scraggly wild look, hopefully anyway. Hopefully that's is my intent. A scraggly wild look there. Right, I'm just thinking now folks, just taking a moment. I'm going to glaze this a little bit more yellow. Just a touch more yellow. There's pure yellow there, a little bit of liquid, and I think I'm just going to glaze this on and then wipe it off. Yeah, a little bit thinner than that, I think. As I say, a lot of this is coming off. That yellow really does make a difference here, I think. Actually, I will use a cotton bud to do it. More control at this stage. Look at that, isn't that nice? I will leave some of that residue behind as well. All right, now I'm wondering. I think I'll make a little bit more yellow up in here, just fading up in here. It looks like the light is coming out behind a cloud, maybe. Let's see what it looks like. I can always wipe it off. Just taking that up. Now I'm going to be spreading this out. Any more too? Okay, so let me see. Right, a dry brush, folks. This is a dry brush here. And just spreading the edges of it. There we go, there we go. The light's coming up in behind it now. Now a little bit of a darker orangey look here. Just give me that sense that this is coming from behind the cloud here. Is that too dark? I don't think so, not at the minute. Cloud going on here. It is a bit too dark, yes. I'll lighten it a little bit. There's a little bit of cadmium and a little bit of titanium. Just help bring it back a bit from being too dark. I'll put a little bit of pink in it, a little bit of red, and it'll help as well. Let me see. Okay. And just spreading this about to create a cloud like option here. Hopefully you can see what I'm trying to do there. I think I have it, but I'm not too sure. I'll need a moment away from this to see what it looks like. But what I think I'll do is I'll slightly brighten this area up. Am I going to mess around with this so much? I'm going to rack it. Right, a little bit of liquid, a little bit of white, and a little bit of liquid to pull it back a bit. And let me see, just up in here. That's okay at the minute. And that should, I'm okay. Before I get carried away, I'm going to call that for the time being. I'm just going to match it a little bit here. And I'm not going to be, this is not going to be a perfect match. It's just going to be some light shining here. Just the idea that this is reflecting. I see. Maybe over a bit more. Actually, I think I'll take some of that off. Should have been more careful there, folks. Should have taken my time and been a little bit more careful. Feel like I'm in a bit of a rush today. I don't know why. I've nothing to do. I think it's just one of those days where you feel that you're rushed. But anyway, straight down here. So this is where I kind of should have been. Okay. Now that galcade has already tacked up quite a bit actually. It's very sticky on the canvas and I'm okay with that. It helps really pull the paint off. I'm fine with that. So I think I'm all but done here, except I just want to make sure I get in some nice reflections, lighter reflections than what I have down here, or not reflections, sorry, ripples here. Okay, so lighter ones than, as I say, than what I have down. And then that kind of should be it for this one. But where's my other little knife? The little broken knife, as it were. There it is. Okay. Creates a nice little broken. Oh, look at that. That's lovely. I think the tone is right on this so far. Obviously, as I'm coming along, I will have to change the tone. Maybe make it. So come down here. Maybe make it a bit brighter. Or no, sorry, darker as I'm coming down. Maybe a bit brighter at the tip here. Okay, now. A little bit more along here. And I I feel like I want to call it a day at the minute, but I'm not sure if I've got enough reflections on this. And I don't want to keep going to the degree where I end up putting on too much, which is such an easy thing to do. Easy to get carried away. Right, let me see here. All right, so let me see. I think one or two much brighter, and then that'll do me. So I'm just going to wipe off this brush and create a fair bit brighter one. Actually, I'll pull that over to here. A little bit of yellow to it, a little bit more white, some liquid, and then that will be it. Messed up a little bit here, so I will just work around it. Okay, now, so I'm just going to, this one here, a little bit too much on it, so I'm just going to spread it out a bit. There we go. Alright now, alright folks, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a little step back here, and I'll take you with me and see what I think of it. Let me just say, I need to change my glasses, so I does. Alright. Now I'm about, I don't know, about 10 feet away from it, maybe. That's okay. Nice warm day with a bit of a broken barn up there in the corner, and very reflective waters, warm water. Yeah, happy with that, folks. Right, well, I suppose I'll see you in the next one. If you could, watch a few of the videos, just stick them on in the background, let them play. It helps with the algorithm and whatnot, and all of that like and subscribe stuff. Anyway, all the best folks, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.